Hello there, Ken Azura here. I'm going to be bringing you a how to survive and thrive in low-sec video. Low-sec, that being 0.4 and below. So we're going to jump right into it here, okay? So this is our low entry system. We are currently in high-sec and RAN. We're going to be operating in Havris today. So naturally, you're going to end up here, right? You're going to be arriving at the gate. First thing you want to do is look at your surroundings. Make sure there's nobody around, okay? Not even chilling at the gate like I am now, orbiting the gate, nothing like that. If you see anybody that is just chilling here, orbiting, doing any suspicious stuff, then get your awareness level high and may not want to enter, okay? This individual that is probably hanging around the gate is most likely a scout alt. That being somebody on the other side is waiting to kill you. Okay, this may not always be the case. However, often more than not, it is. And even then, those scout alts may be new individuals. You may show info on their character sheet and look at their employment history, and they may not, or they may have only been playing the game for a week or so. However, that can still be a scout alt, no matter what. Just keep your suspicion there and make that decision of going in or not. Now, it is clear for now, so we're just going to go ahead and go in. Yes, this is a dangerous system, and Concord cannot guarantee your safety. So in low security space, there is no Concord. However, there is gate guns and station guns. These guns will protect you should a criminal act be committed on those grids. Now, the gate guns have a range limit 150 kilometers around the gate or station itself. Once an individual, or if you're out of that zone, the guns will not help you. After that, yeah, you're on your own. There's nobody else out here to save you, no one to help. So just keep that in mind when you're flowing through the gates. It's pretty harsh out here, okay? Naturally, if we were in a mining ship, right, you're coming into low, you want to do some mining, right? And everybody wants that good ore. So now when you look at your asteroid belt list, do not go to the top one, don't go to the bottom one. So oftentimes, most players, by habit, they'll pick the top option and go. But for me, as a PvPer, I look for prey, and they often, 75% of the time, use the top option, or close to it. Be spontaneous when you go into low sec. Be very spontaneous on how you move around the area. Don't be predictable, because a lot of new players around are very, very predictable. So be spontaneous, pick somewhere in the middle, and head there. Now, you want to make sure your overview is set up like mine here. I will be pushing that out in mails as I update them, as it is located in your bulletin board in the corporation menu. You can just click it up, hit load, and it will be arranged just like mine. Okay. Now you want to have your local window up separate or collapse or together with the rest. However, for this portion, we will have it separate. The reason that being local, you will see everybody that flows in and out of your area, while still being able to maintain communications with your other channels. Now for here, now let's go to a separate belt. Don't want to show you guys the rats, so we'll just move to a different belt. Now picking a suitable belt, any belt will do. Mine those really good ores. We'll just stick here for now. I'll just kill off these rats fairly quickly. Now, when you go into low sec, it is very crucial that you maintain full visibility of the grid. That being from your overview, as well as you want to stay scrolled out like this. That way you can see the entirety of the grid and know what is around you at all times visually here, as well as in your overview. And if you're stuck on mining, if you're coming here for mining, you're going to have all this clutter, and oftentimes there's going to be more and have a scroll list you're going to have to go through. As you've seen prior, we did come in at 0 at this icon here, that being the warp in location at 0. Naturally, the belts have a kind of crescent or half circle type of formation. When you come to mine, try your best not to occupy yourself before that circle. You always want to go behind it. So let's say if I can click it here, this ombre was your ore of choice. Had a bit of light there. You want to go behind it, okay? You double click that direction to keep on going. Try to stop my ship here. That way, when you're behind the asteroid belt, it creates sort of an extra protectional layer for you. If somebody warps in at 0, which more often than not, they're going to warp to 0 to this belt if they're looking for you. They're going to come in at 0 and they're going to warp here. So you have all this distance, 30k, as long as this wall of asteroids. Of course, your asteroid belt that you might occupy in is going to be much more dense than this one here. Looks like it's been quite picked. But that will create a wall for you so that the enemy may run into that wall. And of course, being behind it creates more distance for them to cover and more time for you to escape. A very simple tip here, and just buys you more time, right? That's all you need to get out. It's just time to initiate that warp. Now next, of course, when you're mining, you want to make sure you're properly aligned to wherever you're going to go, and make sure you stick with that, okay? Oftentimes, you would either go to the station or another gate. Now you have to really decide here, are you going to go and occupy yourself in a station? Station are prone to camps. They will wait until you come outside to kill you. Now, like I said before in the beginning of the video, that they will protect you should there be a criminal act on the grid. However, if somebody is camping the station or gate, they do have the capacity to withstand the gate's guns and will kill you before the gate guns kill them, and they'll get away free. Of course, they may sustain some damage, but all they want is your kill and get out, and they'll come back for the loot at a later time. So naturally, just make sure you pick whatever you're going. Preferably, your spot should not be towards the middle of the asteroid belt here. Either be away or parallel. So let's go over here. This will be our outgoing area. Make sure you align to and stop. Right, align to and stop. That way now you are prepped. You are still within, and make sure you're still within mining range to your asteroids here. And maintain this angle. So all you have to do is hit warp and you're properly aligned. So the direction of your ship also coincides with the inertia of your ship. Thus, you have to do a 180, and your velocity will go up or down, making that turn to go in the direction you're wanting to warp out to. So it's best practice to make sure you're pre-lined out and ready to go. Whilst mining, of course, you want to make sure that you're not always on your mining tab. Only go to your mining tab to lock the asteroids, start your guns, and go back to your PvP menu. That way you maintain full visibility of the grid and not cluttered with all this nonsense, okay? Now that you're properly set up, you just continue to mine. Should an individual come in, just warp off to your prescribed location, and then you're good to go. Next survivability tip is going to be your directional scanner, okay? It's going to be Alt-D. It will pop up if you haven't used the directional scanner before. It will be like this. Now, you don't need all this big window. Don't need it. Okay. Pop it out and just take it out of there and then close this. However, we're going to keep this open for the time being to give you guys some more info on how to use the directional scanner properly. Okay, so up here we're going to focus on us. So this sphere around us is where our sensors are looking, which is currently set up at 14.3 AU around us, as well as in the 360 mode, the angle. The angle is dictated by where you are looking, your camera view, okay? Not your ship view. As you can see, it rotates with me. So utilize that. So as you can see, I pulse, and there's a venture out there. Now, if I pulse it right now, guess what? Now that data is old. So you have to keep pulsing your D-scan, either hitting the scan button or hitting V, as you can see. Now, just keep pulsing that as you mine. After that, if there's an enemy coming near, or if you see another enemy type of vessel, not the Venture, but sometimes Ventures are enemies as well, so make sure you are aware. Everyone in low sec is not friendly. More often than not, they are most likely enemies. So now, to fine-tune this, right? So we're seeing a lot here, right? We're picking up all these other entities out here along with where you're located right now. So we're in a cluster of 5 belts, okay? Within every 7, there's a 5 cluster here. So we're going to tone it down a bit, right? 5 seems relevant. Now 1. So if this guy was an enemy, right? He was in an enemy vessel, not a venture, an offensive vessel. We would know that he is looking for us, right? He's looking for us right now. So that is a good indication to warp off, right? Right now would be the perfect time to warp off, especially just because now we know he's close. And if they're in a combat ship, they're most likely trying to find you right now. Okay. So as a PvPer, right now I'm in the PvP slot. Now I'm looking for you is what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna look for you. Okay. We're gonna go through that together. So I know he's in within 1 AU of us. So I'm gonna look for this guy. Okay. Use a track, bring the angle down at 30 degrees. This is all I'm picking up, right? At 30 degrees is my camera angle. It's not there. He is not there. But he is there, right? Venture, of course, he's mining. Let's go see if I can get him. And just advise, this is a random guy. I have no idea who he is. But we're going to go kill him. Let's see if he's been practicing some good, healthy, low-sec habits. We shall see. He's decent ways away. He is taking on a Baron right now. Looking like he's trying to go get that loot up there. While at the same time, oh, he is trying to warp away now. So he is maintaining relatively good visibility of the grid. He's warping off. He chose to go to the station, so I'm going to go to the station with him. As you can see, I did know where he warped off to just by looking at his ship, looking at the trajectory. He's either going here or probably at the other asteroid belt. And we're about to find out which one it was. Naturally, people are going to chase you exactly like this, so he did go to the station here. Let's see if we can pick him off. And easy as that, he's dead, and I have to warp off. And that's exactly what's going to happen to you. He didn't dock. He could have docked, but he didn't do it quickly enough. As you can see, he is still chilling in his capsule there. That is exactly what's going to happen to you if you do not react properly. He simply just warped to the station. He did not dock, nor did he attempt to dock. Once you're within range and you click dock, it will accept you as long as you're within 0 meters of the station, which he was, and resulted in his death, as you can see. Space Smoker, rip to him. However, you gotta be quick on the trigger and know what you're doing out here. But his best bet was to dock and to make sure, to get safe, right? So for us right now, I'm gonna teach you another trick. So we're gonna warp to my perch here, which is directly in front of the station, which is where the undocking area is. So when you undock, you have a 30-second timer, which you are invulnerable, unless you move or activate something. And he's in a Genosis now. Okay. He might want to fight. We'll see if he's going to take this fight here. I don't know if he will, but this is very discouraging. Don't fight anybody on the station. He might end up fighting me, but we're going to see what it turns into here. But right now, he did activate something. He is targeting me. He is locking me up. He might end up shooting at us right now. But like as you can see, I already have my hand on the trigger to dock. We'll see if he makes the mistake. Once you shoot anybody, you're going to have a weapons timer. We are limited engage now, so we're going to go ahead and dock up. He did commit on us. Now he's on a 1-minute weapons timer, as well as limited engagement timer with me. So let's see if we can teach him a lesson here. What do I want to use? Pretty sure this one's fitted, yeah. So I'm going to bring my Dominix out. This big drone boat, battleship. Should easily squash him here, but we'll see. Does look like he was about to warp off, but I don't know if he's going to take it anymore now. So I'm currently neutralizing him. He did limited engage me. We'll see if he re-engages. He might wait out his weapons timer to dock. He is locking me up and is attacking. So now he could have just waited me out and docked up, but he decided to commit to the fight. Now he is locked in this battle, and he will lose. I'm telling you that right now. He will lose this fight, so do not do this. Especially if there's a vet on the other end of the ship there. This is going to be you. So please, please do not let this happen. However, I do have another red entering the system here. Supercat is here as well. Shout out to him. Hopefully I don't get pounced on by Shadow here. But I do have a few tricks up my sleeve if they do surprise me here. So his tank is gone. He looks like he was shield tanked. He's probably almost out of cap here soon. As you can see, I'm still pulsing just to see if any other enemies are going to interfere with this fight. But he is, look like he is going down here. Going back to reapproach. My cap is still pretty good here, looking good, and he is down. So I'm gonna go ahead and dock my drones back up. See if we can pot him. Looks like he's gonna get away. And he is gone. Anything good? Not really. We're just gonna sit here and wait out our timer. Should be good to go. I have a really good tank on here. Didn't need to use my reactive because he didn't get to my armor. So like I said, he was shield fit and he tried to fight. Kudos to him. I'll tell him good fight in the chat. That was very good. He did really good there, but he shouldn't have took the fight. Like I said before, you should have just waited out the timer, even if somebody does engage you, right, and you did not aggress. Even if they aggress you on the station, wait out that weapons timer like I am now, and as soon as that gets to 0, you're good to go. Your weapons timer is from modules activated on another player, as well as your drones, so make sure you recall your drones if you do have them out, okay? Now next, we're going to go over bookmarks. Bookmarks is very crucial, especially in low sec. You're engaged in combat, yes I know. Ooh, got some damage here, let me repair that really quickly. That's fine. Now this limited engagement timer, since I've been engaged, now if we engage each other again, we will reset that timer back to 5 minutes. And if he goes to high sec and I go to high sec with him, then it will carry over. So he can still die in high sec while we're at limited engagement with each other. Now, let's say if you're an adventurer and somebody's camping the station, often it would be to go to high sec, which is back that way, but you have to make almost a near 180 to go that way, which gives me time to kill you doing this, trying to line up properly, and you'll die. My ship is very agile, so it doesn't really matter for me, but for those less agile ships out there, it's going to take you a while to turn and then warp. My ship can lock you very quickly and light you up very quickly. A lot of DPS. However, once you shoot out the gate, you're going at maybe I'd say about 150% more than your velocity, your maximum velocity. So you want to pick a straightaway warp, right? Which would be here, right? Straight out the gate, warp straight away out there. And if it's in a cluster, great, right? You got the PvP pilot that's sitting here camping may not know exactly where you went if they weren't watching you. So it's good to go on a cluster that's straight ahead. Now, if all these other entities were not out here, here's how you create a bookmark. Now, the way bookmarks work is very simple. Now, this is for a straight warp. Straight warps are just for countering any station camps. Your minimum warp distance is 150 kilometers, and he is back with his venture. Cool guy. But your straight warp, I'll make it a little more straight. My ship's been doing a lot of crazy stuff recently, and I don't know why, but we're just going to disregard. So we're going to move up and a little more in line with our dock here. So try to see if I can line it back up. And like I said, 150 plus is your warp range. Let me go a little left here. Of course, your manual is just double clicking in whichever direction you want to go. And so this here 130 blah blah blah, as it counts upwards, it is measuring the distance from this ring around the structure, not the middle. Okay, this is the ring around the structure, so just make sure you go a little more. Here looks about right. So now to create your bookmark, I'll stop my ship because it's doing weird stuff again. So it's left click, hold the radio menu, get it up there, go to the plus sign, and then the little tack at the bottom, save location. Put save. Boom. And now we can warp there. So right out the gate, you can warp here and then warp to the gate, another station, whatever you got to do in that situation, whichever you think is best. You can warp here and then go to it and evade that camp very effectively. It will have 0 time. Nobody's going to be able to lock you. You'll warp instantly. There's also, you can hit Control B. Control B is your hotkey to set this bookmark. And last thing I'm going to teach you guys is how to create a dead space bookmark. Very simple tactic here. It's just a little bit on timing. we're gonna go ahead to the Jove gate. Now we're gonna pre-set up our bookmark. Okay, I'll open it bookmark. So we're gonna name it. So I have it up here. As soon as you hit submit, or as soon as you hit enter while selected on the window, it will save that location wherever you are at that moment in time. I don't have that there for you. We're gonna hit submit. Boom. It's created back there somewhere in that direction. We can see it right here, right about 7.79 AUs away. Now we've created that bookmark in dead space. It's not known to anybody. No one can just warp there. Only us. So we're gonna evade that Tengu there. Tengu is a cloaky guy, so we won't see him. Cloaks you will not be able to detect on directional scanners or probes. The only way to detect them is for them to decloak themselves by either coming within 2,500 meters of an entity or simply pressing that cloak button again, and we'll decloak them. Now we are at our dead space location. Now nobody can essentially find us for right now. The only thing that can find us right now is directional scanners as well as combat probes. Only combat probes can find ships. Core scanner probes will not scan down ships, only anomalies in space. So if you see core scanner probes that'll pop up here on your D-scan, you're perfectly fine. But if it is combat probes, then somebody is trying to look for you or somebody else. A good rule of thumb, when you're out here and you're mining or you're in dead space, you'll see them on your D-scan and they will hone in on you, right? Just like if you're doing regular exploration and you're finding an anomaly out there, they're going to hone in on that location. So they might start out here very big, and they're slowly just going to come in, right? 10, come down around 5. Once you see combat scanners, combat probes about 5 AU, that's your time to go. Once you see it up on here, you gotta go. He's honing in on your location, and probably at the next cycle of probes, or even the next one after, possibly, then he's gonna warp to 0 right to your location. Now, if you're doing missions inside of LowSec, they will have to go through rooms within that site. If your site does not have a room or acceleration gates, if you're on 1 AU and you're doing your site, just make sure you're hitting 1 AU, make sure you're pulsing, you'll see the probes, and then you'll see that ship try to enter your site. And make sure you're keeping a very watchful eye on your D-scan, keep pulsing it every now and again just to keep your awareness level up. Very simple to do, just hit V, right? Just hit V while you're doing your site. I know it takes just a little more effort, but that little more effort of just hitting that button will give you, your everlasting life, right, until you die. But just keep that in mind while you're out here in LowSec. Make sure you have your local space up here. Make sure you're watching who goes in and out. Don't worry about the other chats on your LowSec. But of course, you can have them up here, see who's talking, what it's about, but always have your local window up separate, okay? So you're maintaining visibility. Make sure your PvP is always up as much as possible to keep that clutter away. That way you don't have to scroll around and it'll just pop up right there on your screen in red, screaming, hey, there's a guy right here. So you can maintain your awareness. And remember, all these tips that I've provided for you, it'll save your life out here. I promise. There's more tips to come, but thank you for listening in. Thank you for watching. And just make sure that all this knowledge that you've just learned, make sure you come out to LowSec and apply it. Please apply it. I'll catch you guys later.